The treatment of Japanese Americans in the USA, specifically in the Honouliuli Internment camp, has changed drastically before and after World War II.
This is a Honouliuli Internment camp. It was one of the 5 sites on the Hawaiian Islands. It is one of the biggest internment camps there.
The internment camps were located in Kunia, Oahu, also called Jigiko Dani, which means Hell Valley. Prisoners who were held in Hell Valley were of diverse U.S. citizens and residents, including Japanese, Korean, European, and many more. Most were influential Japanese immigrants.
It opened on March 1st, 1943, and in 2007 it was bought by Monsanto to preserve the camp. Its purpose was to house local Japanese people who were detained by federal government in the days after the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941. None of those who were detained were accused or convicted of any specific crimes.
Executive Order 9066, signed by President Franklin D. Roosevelt on February 19, 1942, authorized the mass exclusion and detention of all Japanese Americans living in the West Coast states, resulting in eventual incarceration of 120,000 people.
Some of the hardships were internees were initially housed in tents for the first 6 months before barracks were built. Conditions were initially harsh. Yatsutaru Soga wrote that they had to be enforced labor, strip searches, and other indignities were aimed at leaders of the Japanese immigrant community. Families were initially kept in the dark about their husbands and fathers, not knowing for weeks if men were even alive. Over 1,000 wives and children did just that, and many end up in camps in Crystal City, Texas, while others ended up in War Relocation Authority administered camps in Tule Lake, California, or Jerome, Arkansas.
Now, most of the Hawaii internees remained in detention for the duration of the war and beyond a period approaching 4 years. Most eventually returned to Hawaii after the war, their stories largely forgotten in dramatic change of the post-war years.
Formed in 2005, Hawaii Confinement Sites Committee, or the JCCH, oversees all internment-related activities. Their dream is that the Honouliuli site becomes a public historic park where the Hawaii internee story can be shared with future generations.